Tonight.
Unfortunately, not. So it was a very intense, great game of football, I think, and to be part of it as well. I think obviously it was a totally different Liverpool than what we showed in Paris. But unfortunately, we out on penalties, and that's the reality.
Was the key maybe not making the most of those chances you created, especially second half?
Well, I think even the first half, I think we created dangerous moments. Obviously, you know that they have the quality to create them as well. But yeah, eventually it comes down to penalties, and yeah, unfortunately we lose.
You know, what do you say about those guys who've stepped forward and obviously not scored?
It's part of football. I said to the guys, you know, don't be. Obviously, you can be disappointed because we're out of the competition, but it's chin up and get ready for the next challenge. It's a beautiful one on the weekend, so we go again.
Does it feel like a shock to the system, having been so good for so much of this season?
I think we were pretty good today as well.
I mean, just going out.
Well, yeah, obviously you want to go as far as possible. And obviously, when the draw came and we knew we had to play against PSG, we always knew that it was going to be very difficult. And we saw it obviously in Paris, where we struggled, but we won. And today I think we showed a much better Liverpool side. But unfortunately, about the competition, that's the reality, and you have to accept it.
How good are this PSG team? You can hear them celebrating. They obviously feel this is a huge win. What do they have that caused you problems maybe over the two games?
Well, especially the first game, I think. Obviously, the man-v-man press. The amount of times that we didn't find the right solution, the right pass, because there were loads of spaces to go in between them. And I think the game in Paris was definitely a game from Alisson, but we didn't do as well as we did today. I think today, from the first second till obviously in extra time, where obviously fatigue kicks in for both sides, then it started to become a little bit more open. But I think, especially in the regular time, we showed a very good game. And but listen, we can speak about the game for ages, but we're out of the competition. That's the reality.
Will it feel like a missed opportunity in its way as well, having been so good in the league phase?
Well, it's part and parcel. If you're in the knockout stages, where we are, and you play against PSG, which team is obviously very, very good, then there is a chance that you get knocked out. And unfortunately, it happens to us. But we have to accept it. We will.
Obviously, come again in this competition next season.
Champions League is an amazing competition to be part of, so keep fighting for it.
And a final, as you say, to look forward to at the weekend. There has to be a response. There's the great chance for it to be a special response.
Oh, response! I think
a victory.
If we would play with the same intensity and quality that we did first in regular time, then it's going to be a beautiful game. But the focus will be now on recovery, because everyone has to do that in order to be at their best in the weekend against a very good Newcastle, I think, in my opinion. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you, Virgil.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That can't be easy, kind of doing that interview within earshot of the celebrating Paris Saint-Germain players, but I suppose it's part of the gig.
It's horrible. Honestly, I've been there, done that. And you can see he's hurting. He's immensely proud to be the Liverpool captain. The players, give their all tonight. And I have to agree with him. I thought second half they were very controlled, without, dominating in terms of chances. The set plays were a big threat, and that's where their best chances came from in the second half. But I have to say, in extra time, I thought PSG came alive again. It was an epic tie, over the two games, and PSG, I felt, just deserved to win.
We can have a look at some of those chances actually starting in the first half, because it's a long time ago now, but Mo Salah gave him a couple of chances. Actually, we're going straight to the second half, so these are the chances that Virgil's talking about here.
Yeah, I think this is this the offside one? I think the flag goes up eventually, because Diaz was offside. See, the flag goes up. That was a disallowed goal. Yeah, but I felt like in open play, PSG defended really, really well. A great block by Pancho, who I thought was outstanding. This was a big threat. Corners, header from Diaz, great save from Donnarumma. Again, another set play. Salah's at the back post. He gets a touch, and he's there. And Kivnishvili does brilliantly to clear it off the line. And then this is the one that so unlucky. Great ball in, magnificent header, and just the other side of the post.
You think it's going to bounce.
You think the
across
spin's
in,
going to
don't you?
take it in, yeah. And I just felt, you know, that was symptomatic. You know, just that sometimes they took that little touch too many, or they delayed the pass tonight.
Some great defending there, though, as well.
Fantastic, yeah, but there wasn't as much of a flow to them. But for me, this is the big moment of the night, Kenny.
Oh, this is it. For me, this is the tie right here.
If that goes in, it's 2-0.
How often this season have we seen Mo Salah that kind of situation? Invariably picks the right option. You can see the ball arrives so slowly towards him. He's got time to have a look. I know he likes that little one, that give the keeper the eyes and chop it inside the near post, but it's crying out for just that control. It's the easier finish, just back across the goal. Donnarumma's body weight, as you know, is coming across the goal. Núñez is already there at the near post. There's a gaping hole in that far post. Some of his technical ability, I think.
3 or 4 really good opportunities and didn't score. And then, like Ruud said, Vitinha started getting on the ball, dictating tempo, started playing little passes. Then Bele started becoming a nuisance and a pest. Barcola was starting to stretch him, Kvaratskhelia was getting on the ball, and then all of a sudden, bang, out of nowhere, they get the equaliser to go 1-1 over, over the tie. And then it kind of cancelled each other out, didn't he? Liverpool dominated the second half, but without really asking Donnarumma too many questions, and they cancelled each other out. And Andy's right, last 15 minutes of extra time, you just felt, Liverpool were hanging on, and both teams just went to penalties, and it's a lottery, isn't it? It's a lottery with the penalties.
Too far ahead of ourselves, but I also think that has a bit of an impact on what happens Sunday. The extra time, and Liverpool now going to that final
Newcastle
flat.
is like waiting for them.
Thank
you very much.
Yeah, the disappointment plus the extra time. There's two big factors that go in Newcastle's favour.
They've got to pick themselves up now.
But,
He said, hopefully.
Do we have to give also the coach an unbelievable compliment? Because in the beginning of the season they said, don't you miss all these big names and things? And he said, no, I have the youngsters, I have them. And he showed it. They played excellent football, very mature also. And I think that we all agree, if Dembele makes better choices, even better choices, because he was losing the ball so many times for nothing. If he makes better choices, he can be one of the best players ever. But it's brilliant, and then sometimes you think to yourself, why you give this ball away?
He's hit and miss.
Plenty of time yet to discuss what's happened at Anfield, and we'll wait for reaction as well. Looking ahead to tomorrow, we have the other.
What?
You have some sympathy for Liverpool.
No, I said world people have sympathy with Liverpool.
Me?
No, not at all.
No, come on.
Oh, we're with
I think
Paris,
Everton people will.
It's our team.
Yes, it is.
It's our team.
Yeah.
So we're with Paris. No, the way that it's all evolved, the new competition and the new way it's run. You would think if you finish first, you might get a Feyenoord.
A lot of money.
A Feyenoord.
No, not a Feyenoord.
A Brugge. Yeah, an easy game.
You have a lot of money already.
And I have floated this theory already in this tournament. Yeah. I think we'll go to a second league stage eventually. We've lost Liverpool tonight. We could lose Real Madrid tomorrow. These big clubs want to stay around a bit longer in this competition than losing in a knockout. You get a second phase of a league structure. Keep them all around longer, more money to generate.
No, I agree, but it's... Paris had a terrible start to the season, didn't they? And
but they're playing arguably as well as anyone in Europe right now, Juice.
No, well, that's what they've done. They've grown in confidence, haven't they, throughout the season? And, players, they feel more comfortable and they've grown in confidence.
This could be significant on the night. Questions need to be asked about this.
Do you think it's a lack of concentration?
Look, Van Dijk will take the ball. How can it be? He's at Anfield. He knows, surely.
He knows the rules. He's been there long enough.
Unless he's gambling that they aren't going to turn them round.
That might have just been the biggest moment in the match, that.
Well, there was 2 clearances, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There's one at Liverpool's end
as well.
No,
but that for you.
That one for us.
That goes in early in the first 5 minutes. That's a whole different ballgame.
Well, that's it. It goes 2-0. I think it becomes a real struggle for Paris to get back in and to win the game.
But it was a similar one also for
Paris.
For Paris.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But this is unbelievable, that he can pick up the ball so easy in the midfield. Nobody there, not even a midfielder. So therefore, they were out of position in so many cases.
I mean, I don't know if it's this angle we see it again from, but watch Trent just gets... Yeah, there you go. Trent just gets sucked right in, which means Canate is on the cover to cover Trent, so he comes right across, he vacates the middle of the park, then Belly drops in, Van Dijk holds his position, and that happens.
Yeah.
I have no idea where Trent's going.
Real Madrid.
Yeah. Well, after his knee tonight, we'll have to see what happens with that injury.
Yeah.
But it didn't look good for Trent. I hope he's all right. It didn't look good.
I said earlier, Jason, I think you're running out of gas.
Yeah, I agree. I think Liverpool, that second half dominance, the first half of the season when they were free scoring and coming up with great ideas in the final third, that looks to have gone. And you could argue that is down to fatigue. They played a lot of football, this starting 11. Andy made the point at the weekend. We thought it was going to be 6-7 changes, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, you went 8, and I wouldn't have.
Well, Paris made 8.
I know. I wouldn't have batted an eyelid had Liverpool made eight changes against Southampton, but he's stuck with what he knows, and that's the way he. Was he like that at Feyenoord, Ruud? Is he that kind of manager? Just consistency.
Yes, but the thing is, he sees consistency in not changing a lot, because then you get some things that automatically go their way. What each other does. Look, we did that also in our days. The only thing is that the Premier League is a lot more games and more intensive. So therefore, you need to change a lot more. And of course, you don't. Some games you think to yourself, they can do it. They can do it. You hope they can do it. Nowadays, you have a lot more data than they had in our days. So when players are tired. But do you give players... If you saw today, Kanute, cramp offer, and he's not the one who has to run that much.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a different kind of run than the ones in midfield. So therefore, that says a lot that these players are, in Holland we would say you walk on your toes, but you understand what I try to say.
Yeah,
it's very hard, and they were also a couple of times unlucky with some. This one that was also on goal.
Half chance, isn't it?
No idea how the keeper got through the night without concern.
No, I know.
No
I
idea.
mean, at this particular moment, you're thinking anything could happen with Donnarumma. I mean, he got away with so many flapping it, so many crosses and corners.
But he got away with it.
He got away with it, and then he came good.
Yes.
Yeah. Look,
it's only
not
offside.
him.
Yeah. No, he's okay.
He's miles onside.
Yeah.
It wasn't him, though, was it?
No, it was. They gave it because it came back off post. McAllister was in there offside.
McAllister went for the ball. Yeah.
Oh. This was just.
It never really settled for him, that one.
No,
it just bubbled up a bit.
In the middle of his, in the middle of his stance, so not easy. This was also unbelievable. This was also very close. So therefore, it was just an enormous battle.
Yeah.
Who makes the first mistake? This was also, like you said, but. By the way, I like this boy.
He can play, can't he?
Yes,
Great
what a good
feet.
player he is.
Yeah. Great feet.
The thing was, listen, it was a mouth-watering draw when it came out.
That's a top save.
Yeah, that's a great save. And we thought that's going to be a big tie. That's going to be a gigantic one, and it was, for various reasons. And both teams could look at it. I mean, I do think that over the 2 games, Paris have just about deserved to win it. Yeah. And I think that you couldn't really argue with that.
His penalty, by the way. He's lucky here.
Do you know, I almost thought the keeper could have walked over it.
I'm amazed he didn't get it.
Yeah.
Because he was thinking it was going the other way, and then he couldn't turn back. Okay.
When you lose in the manner that they lost, right, in the last few minutes, but the way that they played, the midfield is one of the best midfields for me in Champions League right now. Yep. You can't find the ball. Vitinha, it is incredible what they've built. They made a big decision to sit here and say they're better without Kylian Mbappe. They're more dynamic. They're more unpredictable. I think it's absolutely true. And earlier on in the season, again, Luis Enrique, he stuck to his guns. We sat here criticizing, saying in moments they missed the 9. They should have invested in the superstar. Even when they signed Kvara, I said to myself, why are they spending $75 million on Kvara where they could have signed a striker? And he's got this in his mind. He understands how to get this team to play. Every single player in this team is bought in. And like you just said, Grella, you were one of the ones that believed that they could overturn this tie. Now, all of a sudden, it's tricky for any team that plays PSG.
It fills you with confidence, right, for PSG, and this is good for them. They got to take it step by step. They didn't win the Champions League. They just beat one of the favorites, for sure. But they were in a semi-final against Dortmund last season with Mbappe, and you would say, all right, PSG against Dortmund, that slow Dortmund on that back line, they got it covered, and they did it. Schlotterbeck and Hummels, right, in the back line, you would say, Mbappe, that's lunch money for him, right? Before we get ahead of ourselves,
it's true. They missed a lot of chances.
You gotta take it, right? Step by step. They have a quarterfinal against who knows who, if it's going to be Villa or Brugge. And then
that's an easy game for them.
And then after that,
I'll say
you got to go against Real Madrid.
Or
Atletico Madrid. And then I'm forgetting who's on the other side of that bracket over there, but...
Arsenal, PSV.
Or Arsenal, right?
In fact,
nothing is easy.
It's interesting as well because it's not a forgiving tournament in the sense that none of us would have sat here and said the first English teams out of any European competition would be Manchester City and Liverpool. Yeah. And that's who's out at this point, which is mad to say.
Bobby, can you imagine if PSG win the Champions League and Mbappe with Real Madrid doesn't win it? So he's left PSG to go to Real Madrid.
We see PSG Man City. PSG Real Madrid. If we see PSG Real Madrid in one of these rounds,
I think we have a very good chance of seeing it.
On fire.
No disrespect to the Arsenal fans.
Second leg would be at Parc des Princes.
Do you think they're ever going to let Nigel back into Anfield, by the way?
I think Darwin's running after Nigel somewhere.
Nigel
never lost before.
Nigel owes Donnarumma a handwritten apology. A handwritten apology.
Some flowers.
And Tony Miola, too.
Chocolate.
Because every week he's on Donnarumma.
Tony's one of yours.
Well, Tony's with it. Tony said Donnarumma's good.
What are the odds?
Nigel's not going to apologise to anybody.
What are the odds that Darwin Núñez is going to get scapegoated for this?
He shouldn't. Penalty kicks.
It's a toss-up, isn't it?
It's so difficult. The best players in the world have missed penalty kicks. I think you have to look over the 180 minutes before you look, even more now because of that.
Salah goal is over.
Absolutely. Salah. We talk about him as the best player in the world. Credit to his numbers, but you got to step up in the big games.
Hold on. The affair was 2 legs.
Yeah?
Liverpool only played in 1.
No, hold on. They had good moments here. Salah had a good moment.
They played in this game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The game in France.
Yeah, you're right.
They didn't play. So you can't come in when the margins are so tight in a 2-legged affair and only play 1 game. And that's what they did.
And then blame Darwin Núñez.
Right. That's not true. They won, I think, 1 shot on target in the first game, if I'm not mistaken.
And that was the goal.
1 goal.
That was their goal.
How much does the Ballon d'Or argument for Salah now take a massive drop? Like, we're talking power rankings.
Took a turn.
Rafinha just took a strong step forward.
It feels like it, doesn't it? Especially with the goal involvements. Ballon d'Or, Mo Salah, bye-bye.
Yep, Josh beat us to it. Josh 10 beat us to it.
He agrees. For Liverpool, though, you've got to say it still could be a very successful season.
According to Nigel, he interviewed every fan in Liverpool, and he said they all want the Premier League. And
the Carabao Cup at the weekend.
To Nigel's credit, you even heard players within the locker room. Salah came out and said that he wants Premier League because of the reasons that they were not able to celebrate in the proper way for what was happening in the world. So it's absolutely remarkable what Slot did to come in. Not many people had them winning the Premier League, and they're doing it in dominant fashion. You also lost in penalty kicks.